Hey guys, this is Mike
And Joe.
from Deepwood Force of Will,
Deepwood Force of Will.
and we're here with Joe, who's going to be profiling the deck that he brought to our locals and got third place with.
Yeah, we had the first tournament over at the arena, which is in Babylon. North Babylon?
West Babylon.
West Babylon. One of the Babylons. And so we had a small pack tournament. Was, 8 packs overall given out?
Yeah.
But the big thing that we got was promos. Amazingly, we have a playset of Booty,
The Uncensored Zero.
which is fantastic. I'm so happy that we have this. And
The two of us collectively have 8 cheeks.
Yep, and we have a 10th cheek somewhere.
Yeah, Scott also came with us and took a 7th place finish.
We won't talk about it. Anyway, so I'm going to show off Shion, which is the deck I brought. I've been working a lot with Shion ever since she came out, and I kind of like this build. It was a very revealing day on what I needed to change in the deck. Like, there's only so much I can get off of playing with Mike and Scott, so having to play against a bunch of other people's creative decks help me figure out the flaws in the deck. So of course we have Songstress of Shangri-La. You can't play Shion without Shion. And we'll just get into the Resonators. We got, for 1-drops, we got 4 Houses Little Scout. Good card. New card, Messenger Familiar. Messenger Familiar is really cool. Just to note, this isn't a 12 Apostle build directly, but I am playing the Messenger Familiar. It combos well with the deck. It lets me do some Adombrali combos, which is really fun. You'll see the Adombralis later in the deck. In the meantime, we got the 2-drops, which are the Heras. Hera is just an amazing card in this format. People love playing Ruler's Memoria, and Hera loves destroying Regalia, which Ruler Memoria players love to play. And it's a blue water, and it's a water drop, so good. 2 Muses. I usually like playing more Muses, but I'm trying lesser Muses, and I've been realizing that actually less Muses is not that bad of a thing. You really don't need the extra card draw, and her other effect is just, it's alright. It's threatening against bows, but most people don't play bow anyway. I do play a singular Izanami. It's a target for Messenger Familiar, and it's a 2-drop dark that has lasting effects in long games, which can be really devastating, especially if they're top decking. You can rip the card out of their hand after the draw phase, basically ending their turn immediately, or you can destroy something for free while it's in your graveyard. Pretty good card. I wouldn't play more than 1 though. Next we have Valentina, Professor Princess of Love Valentina, otherwise known as Valentina 4.0, or Slayer of the Overlord Pricia, which is the other side of the shift card. This card is actually amazing. Who would have guessed? But both sides of it are actually amazing. Like the 2-mana 4/5 that deals its attack to each other, basically causing an attack when it enters, is really good. Like, players would go Moonbreeze Elf turn 1, and I just answer their turn 1 play with Pricia, killing it immediately and like ending their ramp before it even started. And then after that I could shift into this and then drop the main card of the deck, Adombrali. Adombrali stealing things immediately. I can use the combo the Possessor Princess with Laevateinn. Just a lot of cool stuff can happen with this deck. So Adombrali was really good, by the way. Triggering the Messenger Familiars. It's searchable off the Messenger Familiar, so you drop Adombrali and add an Adombrali, which is awesome. I play 1 Valentina 3.0. It's a pretty good card. It's a little bit weak against opposing Laevateins, because they can just tribute off the thing you try to target, but hey, 4 mana, 8/8, destroy something isn't that bad. So, and when it does get to steal something, it hurts.
Especially sacking that thing with Adombrali too.
Yeah, you get to steal the thing and sack it and draw the card. Good stuff. Next we play a Salvo, 2/2 of Celestial Wing Seraph and Fallen Angel, Angelic Destroyer Lucifer. Really tempo heavy combo. You hit turn 3 with Songstress Shangri-La, and you can hit that. They're probably not winning that game. They need Moonbeam like immediately, or else they're just gonna die. And even then, they still have to deal with 1900 worth of stats, 1919 of stats. Really strong card. I play 1 Arthur. I really wasn't impressed with this card today. Most of the times I needed to side it out. It's alright, but a lot of decks weren't very spammy, and a lot of decks were playing Reflector Frame, which bounces it for free. What I didn't know was that Moonbeam was actually a really big threat, so people that were playing Reflect Refrain might have thought twice about flipping just about try and bounce him, because they would wind up losing Reflect at that point and maybe lose the long game, because Shion is such a heavy presence in the long game due to her stones drawing cards and her always having card advantage. But gonna have to see what I'm gonna do with this in further testing. It's weak. I think it's one of the weak points in the deck currently. Another weak point in the deck is Titania. I love Titania as a card, but I was not impressed with her use in this build. She is definitely a win more card. If you have the ability to rest 3 Resonators to drop a 12/12, you're probably winning already. It's hard to say that I don't like her, but she just didn't perform the way that I wanted her to perform. It wasn't like I could hit her combo early and drop her easily. For Regalia, I play 4 Hydromonica. Hydromonica is it's pretty much the orb for Shion. It sets up your combo because it's 1 mana stack a card, which is fantastic. Sets up your Celestial Wing Seraph plays. If you use your mana correctly, you can get it on turn 3 immediately and have huge tempo plays, or it just cycles the top card of your deck, which is kind of like the cycle effect of Reflect Refrain if you don't think about it too much. Next I play 3 Laevateinn. I'm probably going to bump this up to 4, taking out one of the Death Scythes, which is in the next slot. Death Scythe was pretty good. The Imperishable actually didn't matter as much anymore. The Swiftness mattered the most on Death Scythe, but I wouldn't need more than 1. It just didn't do enough. But the +2/+2 actually was pretty good. So maybe I could consider getting rid of one of the Death Scythes and both Death Scythes, replacing one with a Horn of the Sacred Beast and one with Laevateinn. For spells, I've got 3 Soul Hunt. Soul Hunt's really good with Dark Shion builds because she already refills her hand so much with the Hymnals, Memorias, and all the draw support that Blue has. So using Soul Hunt to banish your own field and their field and limiting everyone's cards, and then having Shion's natural ability to draw those cards back really makes a big division in the card advantage in the early game. So it's a really good card. It's better being on the draw than on the play, but it doesn't really matter too much. You can still play around it. For 1-ofs and spells, I've got Windsecluded Refuge. Basically, I was just playing this as a counter to Black Moonbeam, and it did that a couple times. There were a lot of games where I drew Black Moonbeam a turn after I drew Windsecluded Refuge a turn after they drew Black Moonbeam, which it happens, but if I can sequence it better, hopefully it will work better in the future. I was impressed with it though. It canceled a lot of things, so I didn't think it was a dead card. And the last card is Space-Time Anomaly. It's a 2 mana, give something -5/-5, which can kill a lot of things and neuter some threats to make them easier to kill with your Resonators. And it draws cards, and it's got Remnant. It's got a lot of things going for it, and it's a pretty good card. It can kill 10/10s if you pay 4 mana while it's in your hand, pretty much. Next up, I'm going to show off the stone lineup. We got 4 Rulers Memoria, best stone in the game by far, because we don't have dual stones yet. Hopefully we're getting them soon. Very good stone, obviously. We got 3 Hymnals Memoria and 3 Black Moons Memoria. A lot of people like 4 Hymnals, 2 Black Moons, but I don't think my luck's good enough to do that. All I do is open multiple copies of Hymnals Memoria if I have it. There was even a game where I opened 3 copies in a row, and that pretty much lost me the game because I had a bunch of black cards in my hand. In the future, I might be going over to 4 Black Moons Memorias instead of the 3 and 3, but I think this build is reasonable enough to have 3 and 3. So I'd probably keep it if I was playing this build, but I'm probably not going to be playing this build for much longer. I think I've got better ideas in store. And last but not least is the side deck. So there were some cards I played a lot, some cards I didn't play that much. First off is Blessed Holy Wolf. I probably should have replaced this card with Fairy of Sacred Vision. I didn't need it to be a 2-cost, and honestly no one played any fields against me, which was weird. I thought people would be playing Barrier Shadow, but no one sided against me, and I didn't even think to side this. Kind of an odd situation, but it worked out. I didn't bring it to anything, which is fine with me. Next off is Down the Drain. This card's awesome. Like, if anyone's playing red, they hate themselves because they get hit by 1 mana, destroy my Lancelot. And that's awful. Especially when they start buffing it with, like, Fiery War Axe, Battle Scarred War Axe, whatever it is. Next is Separation of Body and Soul. I was not impressed with this card. I think it's pretty good in builds that can actively buff and debuff things, but most decks only buff things on their turn, and spell chants need to be used on my turn, and buffs don't last until my turn, so it was alright. The biggest thing that hit for me all day was an Izanami, which was good, but it only happened once. Every other time I sided it in, it didn't do anything. It just kind of sat there waiting for a target. I actually only sided in one most of the time when I was siding it. Next, I side Barrier of Shadows. Really good against ruler-heavy matchups, especially Regalia ones. I sided against Reflect a couple times, and I sided against... No, it was mostly Reflect. I played in Reflect for most of the day. The Kagi I did not side that against. I also had Dark Purge. Dark Purge was the replacement for the Space-Time Anomaly that I had in my main deck if I thought that this card was not going to hit enough. Because -6/-6 and -5/-5 hit a lot of different things. So -6/-6 is good against Lancelot. -5/-5 is good against like Celestial Wing Seraph. But having that and having the option to go into one or the other in game 2 is a good thing to have. Next up is the Scorn of Dark Alice. I sided this in as a replacement for my Soul Hunts if I knew I was going to be going first in game 2, basically if I lost game 1. Scorn is just a more proactive play on turn 1, and it's 1 mana, look at my opponent's hand, gauge what type of plays they're going to have, and get rid of their most useful Resonator. So, it's a good card. I wouldn't play in the main, though, is the problem, because I don't think it does enough. Soul Hunt has so much utility since you can knock cards out of both players' hands. Next up is Silencing Spell. I play it as a 1-of. I wanted to play it against like ramp-heavy decks like Kaguya. I played against it a couple times, but most of the time they had an Apollo up when I wanted to play it. It did grant me tempo, though, which was a good thing because it like made them have to pull up their own cards in order to keep the Silencing Spell off. But if I ever got in a situation where I could have played it without them being able to bounce it back, Silencing Spell would have done a lot of work. So I'm glad I had this in my side deck. Second to last is Black Moonbeam. This card's fantastic. I should have main decked this card. I don't know why I didn't, but pretty much every single matchup I played against, I sided it in. Reflects, don't like it. Kaguya, after I kill the Kaguya, they can't cancel. All their excess mana that they're ramping into is just worthless. It's a great card, and also you kill all their ability to mana fix, so that's good. And last card is Horn of Sacred Beast. It's something I sided in against heavy control matchups just in order to reset my deck if need be. It's also, you can use it to give +2/+2 to J Ruler, so it's as good as Death Scythe at a bare minimum. And that's the build, so that was Shion. It was a good tournament. I went 2-1-1. I think I would have won my last game if I didn't have to go into time. We had some weird time rules for the last round of our tournament, so hopefully those get fixed in the future. I think I could have pulled out a win there, but it's all up in the air because we didn't actually get to play game 3. And then the one loss I had some really bad draws and stone hits. Like I hit the 3 Hymnals in a row, which is a really rare chance, and it messed up the whole flow of the deck. So I'm definitely going to see some better stuff in the future. We're going to work with some different builds. We're going to be expecting like a blue-green Shion to try out in the near future. Mike definitely had some ideas, especially seeing how my build went, and I also got some ideas based on that. So hopefully we get some more content to show you on the channel, but this is Joe.
And this is Mike.
From Deepwood Force of Will, and this is the finishing part of our tournament report from Babylon, where I got 3rd place. So that's it. Have a good day, guys.
See ya.